Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Sorry, notifications going off everywhere. Sammy, United People's TV. Welcome to what is going to be a very busy show this morning. We were playing at 2:30 in the morning, a 4-1 win over Bournemouth. Also, Sesko. We had a live show yesterday on the news that United had chosen Sesko. Formal talks have started. Then an update from David Ornstein on the price of Sesko. Yeah, it's a lot of money. We're also going to run through everything from the game, all of Amrim's comments. You're going to let me know what you think in the chat. What else are you going to speak about? Donnarumma, United. I wouldn't say we're in talks with Donnarumma, but United have made inquiries, clearly, over Donnarumma. I didn't actually realise that his contract ran out next summer. So maybe that's why United are trying to take advantage of it. Oh, I had a couple of hours kip after the game. I don't mind staying up for any game if we score 4 goals. I tell you that. Please get involved in the chat. And can I say to everybody before I start this show, right? I'm going to copy this link here. All the usernames are changed on this channel. It's really annoying, right? But it's not going to change. I'm going to leave you this link here, right? Go to this page, youtube.com/handle. You can change your handle. That's what I can see now. Previously, it was, I think, like a nickname you gave yourself, and it could be anything. But your handle is you. I've contacted YouTube. I've got a reply. This isn't going to be changed. It's just been rolled out on this channel. It's going to get rolled out everywhere. All right? So go there and choose a handle which isn't like a massive long set of numbers and blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you can choose one. Kiwi Carl, I can see you down there. So Carl's chosen one. Go and do it. Because it's really bloody annoying in the chat. And I'm sure it's annoying for you as well. Now let's say hello to everyone. Ant, good morning to you. Or should I say Ant L of the House of L. Steph, how you doing? We've got Carl there as well. Josh, you're there. We've got Marie. We've got Richard. We've got Siegs, Akash, Sam the Flan Man, which is a 10 out of 10 username, that to be fair. Moonraker, good morning to you. Get involved in the chat. All right. Right. Let's get started because this is a busy show today. Busy show. And we're going to, of course, start by talking about Sesko. My match reaction is already out. We're going to run through the game in full in about 15 minutes or so after the Sesko conversation. And what else are we going to speak about? I already mentioned it. Bloody hell. Oh, what we learned from the game is going to be going out roughly at lunchtime today. Somewhere between 11 and 12. Right. If you missed what happened yesterday, let me bring you up to speed. David Ornstein confirmed that Manchester United had prioritised Sesko. He had been chosen as the striker that Ruben Amorim, Chris Favell, and Jason Wilcox wanted, right? Now, I don't know whether that's... I think part of that is that Aston Villa set their price too high, and United then just moved on. But on top of that, there was an update at 10:15 last night, and that's this. The RB Leipzig have set their asking price for Sesko at 75 million euros. Guaranteed, plus add-ons, and a percentage of any future sale. So realistically, they're probably looking for 90 million in total, aren't they? Including all those numbers. Maybe a little bit more, actually, depending on whether or not Sesko was sold in the future. That's a lot of dough. If I was to predict what was going to happen from this point, famous last words and all that, right? I would predict that a bid would go in for Sesko quite soon. I don't think it will be ages and ages before a bid goes in. But I don't know how quickly a deal would actually get done. Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. It's a lot of cash. Yeah, it's £65 million when converted into sterling. Plus the add-ons, and we don't know what the add-ons would be. We have no idea on that. We have no idea what the percentage of future sale would be. I imagine that would be very low, given the big numbers. But we're going to run through the article a little bit again, and just let me know what you're thinking in the chat. I'll just for those who didn't join in with the show yesterday. Carl, you're saying, Sam, we beat Newcastle to Sesko. I can see them not selling Isaac to Liverpool. Yeah, that would be a bonus. But realistically, Liverpool are kind of out of sight, out of mind right now for Manchester United. Unfortunate reality. United are prioritising the move for him. They've made informal contact with their Bundesliga counterparts, and following on from that, You've got James Ducker from the Telegraph here saying that United have opened those formal talks. Look, we had that live show yesterday after the Ornstein news. I'm still really quite shocked. I mean, good shocked, right? That Manchester United's front three next season could well be Cunha and Bournemouth and Sesko. It really is just a ridiculously good situation to be in, considering where we were before. And Jake, who's on the sort of research team of United People's TV, big up, Jake. Big up the research team as well. Made a really good point, I think. Like, over the last week or so, we've been having plenty of debates about, who would be the right striker signing? We've been speaking about Watkins and speaking briefly about Jackson and speaking about Sesko and just having all these different debates. Like, just remember that what we're used to as Manchester United fans, especially when it comes to strikers, Hojlund aside, is getting towards deadline day and then having a little conversation about whether Weghorst would be a good signing or whether Igalo would be a good signing. So that in itself, to have these conversations and debate about Sesko or Watkins pre-August, that's a shift and a step in the right direction. Yep, I'm going to cover the Donnarumma news. That will be coming a little bit later in the show. Don't you worry about that. Please, Sam, don't, Sam, you got me salivating. Calm down, Richard. Richard, go to youtube.com/handle. Change your username because I'm pretty sure you don't want 6878 after it. Or AkashK02010, I don't know. Or Stephanie Griffith 6551. Just go there. I would appreciate if you all did. Alex, I can see you changed yours. I can't tell you, well, you can see how many comments fly in here. It's very difficult for me to be able to, on the fly, be able to look down and see your usernames. And everybody's username is different. I'm like, who the hell was that? I'm having to do it in real time. It's really annoying. And you're saying, Sam, we also need to remember that whilst we need a striker, the goals won't all be on him. I've already said that before, but people who are worried about a Hojlund 2.0, I just don't see it happening because it's a different environment. He'll have different players around him. The leadership and the being able to lean on Cunha and Mbeumo is going to be significantly better for Sesko if he was to join. But this is what Ruben Amorim said about Hojlund after the game. Okay, well, more on the best Benjamin Sesko links. He goes, look, it's an important thing that Rasmus is scoring again. I don't know what will happen until the market is closed, of course. And you'll remember a few days ago, when I did the video speaking about, I think it was when I did the video on Watkins and Sesko, and we did all the pros and cons. We did it in the live show, and then I did it in my lunchtime video. At the end of that, I said, you know what should be part of all these conversations? If we're speaking to Villa about Watkins, Garnacho should be involved in those conversations. I think so anyway. And I said, if we're going to be in for Sesko, then Rasmus Hojlund absolutely has to be part of those conversations. And it seems that that's exactly what's happening, right? This is from Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic, saying that Hojlund has not been told directly he's up for sale. And I don't think United are going to be forcing him out of the door, but they have a preference. That preference has become clear. Manchester United would like to sign Sesko and move Hojlund on. If they can do that and achieve that, they will, right? Cooney didn't play yesterday because he was fatigued. Nothing more. He will be in the game against Everton. Inter held the concrete interest in Hojlund, but this is the most important one. Sesko's Leipzig are among several clubs looking at Hojlund now, and that has raised the prospect of some kind of swap deal for Sesko, with United also paying money to the German club, given the disparity in valuations. I really do think that there's a possibility, right, that United could get. What do you think, right? Hypotheticals here. Give me some numbers. What do you think? What do you think a deal? What deal would represent a good one for Leipzig if you include Hojlund in it? Would you say like? So if it's £65 million right now, what could you drop that to? 40 million? maybe even less than that, 35 million. I think United would probably want around 30, 35 million for Hojlund, wouldn't they? I think you might laugh at it, right? You might laugh at the idea that Hojlund had an awful season at United, but Hojlund and Sesko are the same age. Hojlund, I would back to be a decent striker. I don't know how good he could be, but A, a good striker in the Bundesliga. B, he looks good this preseason. Got to give him that. And C, I think Leipzig's actually the perfect sort of environment for him and the perfect club. It's kind of what I think. Let me see what you're saying down here. Hojlund equals 45 million euros, so 80 all in. Hojlund is worth 35. 30 mil plus Hojlund, 40 mil on Hojlund. It really does feel like there's a good deal to be done here. Now, separate to that, Laurie Whitwell saying that it's not impossible that United can raise the finances for Sesko without selling Hojlund, without Hojlund leaving, given they could get money for Garnacho and Anthony. And this is something that I've always said, right? And we talk about making sales before signings and how much you need to do that. If United had more cash, it simply wouldn't be a problem. Because as long as you get those deals done before the PSR deadline, which is next 30th of June, isn't it? 30th of June next year. So you could actually sell Hojlund next summer and it would still count against these numbers. So it's almost like you can get 2 summers in when you think about it. Remember the 30, I think it was the 30th of June deadline. And that's when Villa sold their women's team. Of course, we don't know what's going on with Garnacho. We're trying to get money. No one wants to pay it. We don't know what's going on with Anthony. We're trying to get money. Betis don't want to pay it. But as long as it's in before PSR's next deadline, it can be associated with that year's accounts, although PSR isn't really an issue. Hyrel Stevens, you're saying that Simon Stone said yesterday they don't need to sell anyone before making signings. Well, I think that's becoming abundantly clear. Really is. I think it's all because we went into the summer with expectations of probably having 1, maybe 2 signings before we make any sales. Now, I want to ask you down here, right in the chat. What is your opinion on Hojlund now? I don't think any opinions should really have changed simply off the back of just 2 preseason games. But is he somebody that, if we can get the right deal, that you would like to see him go to Leipzig and Sesko come the other way? Or would you say in an ideal world, United would sign Sesko, keep Hojlund, and then he would be the number 2? What would you rather have? Let me know in the chat and I'll read some out. Alex, what are you saying, sir? If Hojlund goes and Sesko arrives, we're in the same risky situation as last season for centre forwards. Would prefer to have both share the burden up top. Squad depth. Well, you've answered the question there, Alex. But Stevie's saying, can we talk about the general fitness levels? I will speak about that as soon as we finish talking about the transfers. So about another 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll go into the match analysis. To be fair, yeah, Chris, that is a good one to keep. What would you rather do? What would you choose? Keep Hojlund and Sesko, or loan Hojlund if we sign Sesko? I think that's a good poll to have. Because there's 2 options here. Someone down there saying you really need both. It depends whether or not you feel Cheeto would be able to step up as an understudy in games and situations where we need to rest our main striker. Because even if you're only playing once a week, you won't start every single game. But of course, you're going to get the League Cup in there. League Cup starts in what? October? Can't remember when the League Cup starts. Most of you, quite a lot of you are saying keep both of them. All right. I'll be interested to see what happens. But United are definitely exploring the potential. And it may well be a financially driven decision. But also, I think it's probably a little bit from a ruthless perspective. Someone saying Cheeto looked awful yesterday. I don't think he's had the strongest preseason. I'll be totally honest. But I don't particularly think Ahmad's had an incredible, like, I suppose by his own standards. Ahmad's been quiet. Really happy he got the goal yesterday, though. Someone's saying Xerxes better than Cheeto. Xerxes also not a centre-forward. Never will be a centre-forward. Xerxes more of a number 10 than he is a number 9. You know this whole, like, 9.5 thing. And no, man, he's basically a number 10. I see Xerxes, realistically, as one of the alternatives to Cunha. Actually, no, that's a lie. He's not. He doesn't have the work rate to be the number 10. So he's a little bit... Yeah, I suppose he's a 9.5. I've just completely undermined myself there. Someone down there saying, great competition for two 22-year-olds that will bring the best out of both of them. Having a 75 million striker on the bench. You think Ineos are going to do that? ASEC saying, Cheeto is not ready. We also have Xerxes, who can be a second striker if he leaves. A couple of you saying that Cheeto needs a loan. I mean, at his age... Well, you know what I think about loans. If we've got a player that we really truly believe in, then the only place I would send them on loan is the Championship. Right? I'd like us to try and bring in some experience, even if we do sign Sesko. I think that's very, 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 very unlikely. There's no way that we sign 2 strikers. Although, to be saying, to be fair, I thought there was no chance we were going to have a conversation about Sesko. So, what do I know? Is the answer to that. United are in for Sesko. They've chosen him. 75 million. There's a lot of dough, right? 75 million guaranteed, by the way, plus add-ons, plus a future sell-on is what they want. United are in formal talks. That's already started. And I actually don't think it'll be too long before a bid goes in. I don't know how big that bid would be. All right? But I don't think it's too long before that bid goes in. And it may well include Hojlund, and it may well not. If I quickly check the poll, 860 votes are in. 59% of you are saying keep Hojlund and sign Sesko. And 41% of you are saying sell Hojlund if we sign Sesko. Yes, Tom down there, the username you choose must be unique to YouTube and not already chosen by somebody else. Yes, please do that. Some of you can see that. Tom _ just basically, peeps, whatever your username was before, just put like an underscore in the middle of it or an underscore after it, and you'll be able to get the majority of your name. I can see Abhishek Roy Chudari 6317. Pretty sure you can go for a nice, easy username. It really helps me in the chat, okay? There's too many long-winded names down there. Steve Brooks, I can see you down there. Simply put hyphen in between. You basically got your username back, all right? Follow that link, youtube.com/handle. I'll put it in the chat one more time. It's really annoying, all right? But this is something that YouTube have rolled out. There you go. All right. Now, let's move on to another player that I still don't really think we're going to be talking about him. But clearly, something's kind of happening here. Donnarumma, right? This is from The Telegraph, from James Ducker, yesterday. United remain interested in adding a goalkeeper before the close of the window. They are understood to have made an inquiry about Paris Saint-Germain and Italy number 1, Gianluigi Donnarumma, earlier in the summer. PSG are signing Lucas Chevalier from Lille, and PSG are thought to be braced. Get ready for it. Brace, brace, brace. For United to go in. I'll be honest, I didn't realise that Donnarumma was going into the last year of his contract. So he's a free agent next summer. And if he's not going to sign a deal, then he's probably going to be sold. It still feels more to me like United's name kind of getting used. But James Ducker said that we've actually made an inquiry about him. You'd think he'd probably just sign a new contract. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to leave PSG now. They are the most exciting team. I don't think we're going to be getting him. Right? 26, I need CID. I don't particularly think it's going to happen, all right? But apparently, United have held talks. This is what Fabrizio's saying. Donnarumma and his camp do not rule out staying at PSG. Even with a contract expiring next year, he could stay and compete for his spot as he did with Navas and then decide his future in the coming months. So, it's one to watch, right? but I don't particularly think it's one to get too excited. I say too excited. Too invested in. That's what I would say. Anyway, let's go. 20 minutes. We spoke about transfers. Now let's have 20 minutes. Maybe a little bit longer. We'll speak about the game last night. Who stayed up? What did you think about it? Let me know in the chat. Because I tell you what, that was a very enjoyable preseason game. Very enjoyable. 4-0. De Ligt got an own goal. It was unlucky. It was just a cross. It just bounced off his foot. So technically, he scored 5 goals last night. The one thing I wanted to see between West Ham and between Bournemouth was continuation. Same level of performance. That's exactly what we saw. And United absolutely deserved. Mate, someone down there, Pepsi, saying amazing weather. That was a monsoon. There's no way those ponchos keep you dry. You know those ones you get like a theme park to go on those little plastic ones you just put over your clothes? That really work? No way. After the match, I waited for your match review. Didn't get it till 5 this morning. You got it 19 minutes after the full-time whistle, I think the match reaction was out. I'm not really sure I can get it out faster than that, considering it's a 8-minute video. Sorry, I can't be quicker than that. Although, actually, YouTube, slightly annoying that they do some checks on videos in the background before I'm allowed to publish them. And if they were quicker, which they used to be, that got changed recently as well. They'd be out about 5-10 minutes earlier. Someone down there saying, please make a video explaining PSR. I did that early this summer. I think it was called Why Manchester United Can Actually Spend More Money Than People Think this summer. Go back on the channel and check. Someone down here saying, great game, great recovery from Luke Shaw, great work rate and understandings between the players. Dorgu was easily man of the match, absolutely. But listen to this from Iraola after the game. We are very far right now from where United. They are a hell of a team. Not often you've been able to say that about watching Manchester United. Genuinely, another really good team performance. I think that's what that game was. Although Dorgu was, I think Dorgu stood out. We'll speak about him individually. But I don't particularly think there was anybody who played bad. I suppose I'm being a little bit generous with Casemiro there. Out of possession, I think he really struggled, but that will happen all season. You know exactly what I wanted to happen with Casemiro this summer. It didn't happen. He'll leave on as a free agent next summer, and fingers crossed that he can, I don't know, find a role and play well enough. But United played really well yesterday, right? This is Amrin speaking after the game, saying it was a good game. We played with intensity, aggressive, something we needed to improve from last season. Better positions than last game, so they are listening. Scoring first can change confidence. It's a good test. Dorgu himself, man. It's kind of like I hope an example and an eye-opener for a certain sections of United's fan base, right? Because as much as we all logically understand that players have to be given time, there were some fans that were just so frustrated with what was going on with the team that Dorgu wasn't given any room for any error whatsoever, despite joining Man United mid-season when we're having an awful season and he's only 20, joining from Lecce. People expected him to be elite level straight away and putting in 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10. And no room for mistakes or development. I think what you're looking at with Dorgu there is, I really do mean this. I don't particularly think that Dorgu is playing that. I think he's definitely improved, but I'm seeing a lot of what I saw last season. It's a really good cross from him on his right foot, by the way, for Hojlund's goal. Great, smart run. Mason Mount spotted it. Ball over the top. Good strength to win his one-on-one battle. Keeper probably should have saved it. But he didn't, so he scored. The red card shook him, says Kevy. I think it did, man. New United, same old Delo. Someone doesn't like him down there. And you're saying give Yoro a 10-year contract right now. Mate, Yoro is a right-sided centre-back now. Last season, we saw him, probably his best performances came at left centre-back. No, he's a right centre-back. That is where he's going to be. It's either right centre-back or central centre-back. On the left, we've got Heaven, we've got Shaw. It's going to be Yoro and with Mazraoui as his understudy. That's going to be the right-sided centre-back this summer. It's amazing what happens when you feed your striker. Yeah. Who's that? Manthan, thank you very much, dude, for gifting 5 memberships. I don't actually know exactly who's gifting these memberships now because all the kind of names have changed. So you might have a different name before. Someone's saying Mount played well. I think overall United play well, right? And this is the big thing, right? It's a big thing. AP quadruple 7. It's only on this channel where I've had this problem. I will say it to everybody. It's just being rolled out to us first. This is going to happen on every single channel on YouTube. All the handles and usernames being changed. It's just that they've chosen to do it us first. All right. I've had it confirmed yesterday by somebody who works at YouTube. So you can moan about it, or you can go to youtube.com/handle and get in there and change your handle now to whatever you want it to be. Just do it to one letter off or one underscore off what it was before. But you go and do it before someone nabs it because there's only one you're allowed. Ruben Amorim speaking after the game, saying everyone has to be prepared. I think we have improved in the physicality of the game. We still have a lot to do, but it's a good feeling. And it is a good feeling. Really is. Watching United win their one-on-one battles. Watching United tracking back as a team. I know these are fundamentals and basics, right? I know these are fundamentals and basics. But we, as a football club, have got those fundamentals wrong. I cannot tell you. That game against Spurs under Ten Hag. I think we won 2-0. Remember Fred scored, someone else. I can't remember what else happened in that game. I looked at that and went, there's a bit of a blueprint for United. I like the look of that. But we were never able to sustain it. And this is the thing, right? Even last season, if there were 45 minutes or halves, or the same thing, or just moments in games where you think, oh, actually, that looks pretty good there. Like, actually pressing quite well. We could never sustain it. Never, ever could we sustain it. That's what's different in these two games. The players do look fit. And again, by the way, the starting 11 played 65 minutes. I don't remember probably in the second game of most preseason tours is round about where you play roughly 60, 65 minutes. But we just look significantly fitter. The players look significantly more confident in what they're supposed to be doing and what they're not supposed to be doing. Players are understanding it more. Like, you may have thought it was lip service. Ruben was like, oh, we need more time in the training ground. Oh, it's such an excuse mid-season, but it's just like, we've got a game every 3 days. And then there were periods where we had 1 to 2 weeks off, and we looked a little bit better, but not significantly better. I think the underlying fitness is kind of crucial to everything with Ruben Amorim's team, or with any bloody team that genuinely wants to win the Premier League. You have to be physical monsters. You have got to be athletes. Can't have any piggy footballers, man. Got to have 6-packs everywhere. Oh, who's that? Gungshi and Jonathan, thank you very much, both of you, for gifting 10 memberships. Legend. Marie, I can see your handle's changed. Welcome. Tony, you're saying an athletic United really is dangerous. I think that is the words, really, that Iraola used. Saying, look, hell of a team. Hell of a team. Petco, you're saying, now the question is if the players can run every game like that in preseason when we have a match every 3 days. We don't have a match every 3 days. We have 1 game a week. And that's where it's going to really... You talk about rebuild. Hey, look. People are going to say, Sam, don't jinx it, don't jinx it. it really feels to me that I think we're actually properly starting to watch the beginning of an actual rebuild. Like we're stripping it right back to fundamentals, man. We're properly laying some foundations. Now, preseason to preseason, of course, everything's going to be told when we start playing Arsenal and City and Chelsea in 3 out of our first 5-6 games. And I'm definitely going to be speaking about that later. I've already got a few things lined up. That's what I'm hoping. I'm really excited for this season. I really am. It just, I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to say too much about it because people will shoot me. This is what Amram said about Dorgu. He's saying it's impressive. He's 20 years old. He looks more like he belongs at Manchester United. He's powerful and he's getting his technique right. He's defending. And Dorgu was signed by Jason Wilcox, by Ineos, and specifically chosen for that wing-back role. What you're seeing now is Dorgu looking more confident. You're going to see the same with Cunha and Mbumo. And yeah, as has been pointed out down there, neither of them played last night. But Hojlund himself, right, got 1 goal. I think he maybe had the second one as well, right? But speaking after the game, as I've sort of covered already, that's what Amram said. He goes, I'm really happy with Rasmus. Don't know what's going to be happening until the end of the market. Strikers are working well, and he's improving. But I actually think he's had a pretty good preseason. Someone down there saying, time for a Sesko profile video. We've already started the research on that in the background. We've started a research on a couple of videos, actually. So there's a lot going on in the background, United People's TV towers. Someone down here, what's people saying? With Leon as his replacement, the future's looking good. Dorgu drove forward at every opportunity. Him and Cunha charging at defences will be good to see. He touched the ball in the 3rd goal, but it counts for Ahmed, apparently. Yeah, fair enough. What performance, someone said down there. Even Hojlund scored. Love seeing Ethan Williams score. Yeah, I'm going to be speaking about Ethan Williams next. Just, yeah, no, you know what, right? It's. I know. It's preseason. But if we had lost against Leeds, if we had lost against West Ham, if we had lost against Bournemouth, and it had just felt like game 39, 40, and 41 of last season, like the same problems, the same patterns, the same everything, then you'd all be in the pits right now. You'd all be in the absolute pits. You'd be miserable. You'd be like, oh my God, nothing's changed. Oh, Amrin's going to get sacked. And even though it was preseason, you'd all be shouting and screaming about how bad it is. And you know that's true. It's good to see what I hope is the beginnings of something else. And that's what we're seeing in preseason. Now, whether or not we see that consistently across the course of the season, that's the $1 million question, which no United team has been able to do since Fergie. Really. I mean, we finished 2nd under Solskjaer, I suppose. That was the pinnacle, really, and 2nd under Mourinho. Someone down there saying, loved how fast Leon got to his feet after the stumble. A world best assist. Got to give him assist of the year for that. Someone down there saying, not sure if it's worrying Sam. Not a lot of clubs interested in taking some of our youngsters this summer. I think there's actually quite a lot going on. Sam Mather, I think he's been linked with a move away from the club. Ethan Williams, who scored last night, is apparently being linked with a loan move. Harry and Mass will be going out on loan. Who else? Sekou Kone. I feel sorry for Sekou Kone, right? I kind of pointed towards him being one of the players I was excited about this preseason. He hasn't got a minute. And Toby Collier's got opportunities ahead of him. So I feel a little bit sorry for Sekou Kone. And kind of everything I'm seeing so far suggests that it's actually going to be Sekou Kone going out on loan and Toby Collier who stays in the squad. Or if United maybe even were to sell Toby Collier with a sell-on clause. I don't know. Someone's saying down there about Aiden Heaven. What about him? Right? Came on in the second half. Played well. Heaven's had a good preseason. Most players have had a really good preseason. Some players better than others, but I don't think anyone's had a particularly bad preseason. Just as a team, as a collective, we're looking good. And Ethan Williams got his first goal for United last night. Ethan Williams is somebody who, I mean, if we weren't so spoilt now in attack because we've got Cunha and Mbeumo coming in and maybe Sesko too. Ethan Williams, James Scanlon as well is someone I'm surprised has just never really got a look in with the first team at any point. But Ethan Williams got his first goal. I like that comment there from Ruben Amorim. I celebrated that goal. I think he really deserves a top-level championship loan move. He deserves to go on loan to a team who's pushing for a promotion spot. That's what I'd like to see. Alex, you're asking about thoughts on Mantato. I thought he played pretty well when he came on. I think, interestingly enough, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think Mantato's played as the right attacking mid when he's come on both times rather than right wing back. Think so, right? It seems like there are no talks of United bringing in a central midfielder. We know that United want one. It's been said multiple times by different sources that we trust, but we're pushing ahead with the striker first. Sanji, you're saying Mania was fire when he came on. So good on the ball. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Manu in pre-season. I really am. I see him as the... I don't want to say Bruno understudy, but I put those two down as extremely similar midfielders. So I don't really think they can play together because they don't complement each other enough. Actually, I still don't know what's going to be happening. So Mantato played right wing back last night, did he? Oh. My bad. Anyway, I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. Our passing looks a lot snappier, someone says down there. And yeah, I was saving this point to the end because I think it's a really, really important point that deserves like a little couple of minutes conversation. Cunha wasn't in the squad last night. I woke up, saw the team news. I was like, looking forward to hopefully seeing Cunha's first goal. Got absolutely whooped on Twitter. Go back to bed. Have you looked at the squad? Yeah, I just didn't even realise. Cunha wasn't even in the squad. And Ruben Amorim said that was just purely from a fatigue perspective. Man United just managing his minutes. Probably been training hard, putting in the effort. New signing, new energy. Fine, just sit out that game. But that game, Manchester United had no new signings in it. Now, you can come at me and say Diogo Leon came on, but like, bro, like, mate, he came on in like 65th minute in like the second string 11 for the last 20. And Dorgu was signed in January. So he was here for half the season already. You know, some people say, oh, Ruben Amorim hasn't improved anybody. That team that whooped Bournemouth last night and looked really, really good for it was the same squad that lost the Europa League final to Spurs. And they looked like different squads. I think that's probably the best thing I can say about that game. And that's probably the most exciting thing. And then when you think about it, right? And then you do that. And you go, oh God, what could happen when you put Cunha in there? And Mbeumo. And Sesko. It bodes well. That's what I say. The signs are good in pre-season. And pre-season, clues in the name, it's the warm-up. It tells you what you can expect. Everton losing yesterday to West Ham. David Moyes saying, we're not ready for the Premier League yet. United look as ready after 2 games in a pre-season tour as I've seen for a while. Alex is saying, is it concerning that we didn't see Xerxes at all? No, he's injured. We know he's injured. He's just been nursing something minor, I think. Amorim spoke about it before the game and before the last one. It's a real shame for him because he's definitely put the hard yards in this summer. Looking shredded, looking lean. Same with Yori. Well, Yori always looked lean anyway, but he's been putting in the hard yards with Manu. It's just exciting, all right? And you're allowed to have a little bit of excitement. I think Ruben Amorim will be happy with what he sees. Someone down there saying, when is Licha due back? We don't actually know on that one yet. I think there was a suggestion from, I think it was Laurie Whitwell on Talk of the Devils saying that you could get Martinez back after the first 3 games? Is that when the first international break is? Don't know. Don't know that. But last couple minutes of the show, firing in any questions you want me to speak about. Anything you feel like I haven't spoken about enough. Headlines of today's show was the game that we ran through there, and also the fact that we know now what the price is. The price that they want. It's a lot of dough, man. 75 million euros for Sesko. And I'm going to keep calling him Sesko. I'm not going to... It's Sesko. In fact, I'll go out and I'll find out how to pronounce his name, and I'll find him saying it himself, and whatever he says, I'll say that. But it's a lot of money. 75 million euros plus add-ons, plus a percentage of future sale, which realistically means it's going to be 90 million euros overall. But calling it now, United finishing 3rd this season. I don't think we'll be finishing 3rd, but the top 6 ambition doesn't look outrageous, does it? It's still ambitious, very ambitious. I think United want to push for a Champions League spot. I think internally that's going to be the real driver and the real goal. Don't particularly think they're going to be able to achieve it, but you never know. Let's find out. See if anything else is being said here that I've missed. Which striker would have performed well for us last season? I mean, we created a lot of chances last season, man. We really did. We just were not clinical enough. Dean saying Newcastle must be pissed. Mate, somebody yesterday. It's quite funny. Where is he? Where's this lad? Oh, I had some fun yesterday, and I'm going to have a lot of fun winding up Newcastle fans. But you realise they're probably one of the most insufferable. I'm there saying that it's going to be exciting. It could be massively exciting next season that our front 3 could be Cunha and Bumo and Sesko. And he's replying saying they've gone from Rooney, Ronaldo and Tevez and Berbatov in one squad to this. How the mighty have fallen. And I'm like, come on, man. Come in for a hug. It's all right. You can cry. Come on. You can cry. I think Newcastle lost yesterday to sod knows what team out in Asia. But if they miss out on Sesko as well, honestly, they are having the summer of all time in terms of the worst ones you could ever possibly have. They've missed out on everybody. Don't worry, though. They've got Ramsdale. Sick of transfers being done in euros just makes it sound much more than it is. I mean, he plays for Leipzig in Germany. The currency is euros. So, I think it may well be pronounced Sesko, but I'll go and I'll find out what he says. But look, thank you all for tuning in. That was a long old night. What we learned from the Bournemouth game will be going out somewhere between 11 and 12 today. If there's another big old bomber, I'll be here live later on. If not, I'll be here live and direct on Friday morning. If you are new, please do consider subscribing. Join the gang. Thank you all for tuning in. And as I say one more time, say it one more goddamn time. If you look at your username now and it seems different on this channel compared to everybody else, it's because YouTube has changed it so that it only shows your handle, not your username. All right, that's gone and gone forever. You need to go there and you can choose and change your handle at any time. Go there and just, Alex, you've managed to do it. Go there and change it. And if you want to, change it to what it was before, but just put an underscore in between it or an underscore after it. That's all you've got to do, because right now there are so many different names down there that I don't recognize, because all of your usernames are completely different to what they were before. It makes it difficult for me to recognize people who are here every single day and I want to interact with you. It's really quite bloody annoying. I really wish that they hadn't done that, right? But they have. So please do go and change your usernames. Well, your handles. Take it easy, everyone. And I'll see you soon.